Hello there, Chick Chatters. We are back with a Kardashians recap. We are going to recap that last episode like we promised. We start off with Scott's birthday. He's turning 40. This is a primarily Kravis-led episode, but we do get Scott right out the rip, get him out the way, and then we never really see him again, but we do go over his 40th birthday. So the Lord is turning 40.
The Lord is 40, and Kylie did not get the memo, apparently, about wearing some type of Lord attire. She just showed up in all black as usual. But I think really just Chloe is the one. I mean, she's like, I'm wearing all leopard in the middle of summer. She's so funny.
Chris had a crown and like a cape and stuff.
Oh, she did? I didn't even notice.
And they had a crown for Scott. And Scott kind of, I think, came in just like looking like regular.
Had the vibe that it was like a surprise party of some kind because he was just like showed up with his kids. Like
all regular.
Yeah, and like some sweatpants.
And Chloe's just like, I don't know why he's not excited to turn 40. I can't wait. I can't wait to be out of my 30s. I don't think it matters how old you are at this point about drama or anything. Like you can create a whole different year of not drama. You can just let go of the trash can and you'll be fine.
So true.
You don't have to wait for your 40s to live.
No.
You don't have to be like 39 pining to be 40. Like you just live, Chloe, just live.
Somebody needs to give her permission, I guess. Here it is. The Chick Chatters give you Khloe Kardashian permission to live at 39 or any age.
And if you need any help, I'm sure Kourtney can help. She's just living life, so.
She is, but you know, Kourtney was scared to turn 40.
She was.
She had like kind of a meltdown a little bit.
I think Chloe's the only one that's even excited for it. And I think it's because she thinks this will be a new decade of anything but what she was going on in her 30s. So
life is what you make it. So hopefully it will be that for her. I mean, her 30s have been hard. She's not wrong about that. But yeah, you're also completely right in that at any age you can make a change. You don't need to wait for a whole new decade. You see Kim in New York going to sleep. Literally pops over to her. She gets in her hotel room. They show her a photo of her family. Like, look, we personalized it for you. It's one single photo next to the fireplace. And then they proceed to like show the photo the entire time that she talks
multiple times.
Yeah. So then we get to Kravis.
And they're in a tour bus. Kourtney's pregnant, showing off her belly, making Penelope uncomfortable.
Maggie with your belly.
These kids are killing me this season. Penelope and North just need their own little, like that one little scene where they have Kourtney and Kim sitting next to each other talking. I want one of those with Penelope and North. Can we make that happen? Because I would die.
We need to submit like a request to the Hulus.
I mean, if you're going to show them on the show, might as well let them say their piece in their confessionals. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all the Kardashians are executive producers, so I mean, they would moderate what's shown, but it would be so cute.
Chloe and Chris are in this tour bus, and they're hanging out with Kravis, talking about the reveal that they were not invited to. And Chris seems a little butthurt about it, like, oh, she forgot her whole mom, and she had a family. And Kourtney's just like, I just forgot. We just did it at this show. I mean, I don't really think it's that big of a deal that they weren't there for the reveal to tell the world.
Understand if you or I were going to be on the news and highly publicized, I'm sure that we would tell our moms, but I cannot imagine that every time one of the Kardashians is on the news that they call their mom and say like, hey, I'm going to do this or this is going to happen. Like, I don't know why she's that upset. She made it sound as if she learned of Kourtney's entire pregnancy instead of just that she announced it.
She clarifies she didn't. She's like, I did know about the pregnancy, but I just did not know she's going to announce it to the world. And it's like, okay, well, who cares?
I think it kind of starts this trip off on a bad vibe a little bit too. Seems like the three of these women are not jiving this time around.
Kourtney says that she did forget to invite Chris, but that she mentioned it to Chloe, but that Chloe recommended to change the city, which I don't know. I think they just did it on a whim. She had a poster sign with some writing on it, and she wore like a cute outfit. I don't think it was like something that they planned months in advance. I think it was something that they just decided to do because she was 5 months pregnant. She probably wanted to actually go out and show her belly and stuff. And she loves being pregnant, like everybody said. So what's the difference between her doing that and her doing an Instagram post that you weren't in the room that she posted it for? Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't see that as a big deal. But
I think Kourtney is in love for the first time. I think really ever. Obviously, she was in love with Scott, but really deeply in love now. I just think she is and has been and probably will be for the rest of her life in her own world with Travis. she's told her family that she's pregnant. I think that that's really the extent of what your obligations are. Other than
Yeah.
that, I mean, when she tells other people is up to them. I don't even know if I'm gonna call my mom right before I tell, like, on Facebook or something if I, ever get pregnant. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it's a little strange that Chris is so upset, but she is.
We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna go back over to Kim, who's in New York, who's filming American
Mhm.
Horror Story. I watch American Horror Story. I started watching it like when it came out in 2011. I followed it to like the 5th season and then I stopped for a while. But I actually watched the season that she's in right now. They're on a break, I think, because right now they only have 5 episodes out. And I know she's filmed more than that. And I know that there's no way they're stopping the story there at 5 episodes. So Kim is actually pretty good in the show. My husband Dean, who does not like the Kardashians at all, does not care about anything to do with them. He started watching American Horror Story when I watched this season. He's never watched it before, and he likes it. And we went back and started rewatching all the other seasons now, so he can get caught up. So every season of American Horror Story is different. It's a totally different story. You can literally pick up at any season and just watch it. But they are connected in small ways, but the stories are totally different from each other. So you can watch season 7 or you could watch season 1 or whatever. You don't have to go in order. She's actually pretty good in it. She's not the lead. Emma Roberts is the lead, but she does have a
Mhm.
really good supporting character. And I now, because I watched that show and I watched up to episode 5 before watching this episode of the Kardashians, I now know a couple things that I didn't know now. So I have a couple spoilers now. Like I didn't
Oh,
know
they
Kim's
had
character.
spoilers on the Kardashians?
Kind of like I did not know Kim's character is a witch. They have not shown that on American Horror Story yet.
They
Insinuated
advertised
it.
that though, didn't they?
Kind of, like, they've insinuated it. Like, we know there's something up with Kim's character, but we don't know she's, like, a quote, unquote, "witch." And she
Uh-huh.
says, "I get to play a witch." And I was
Right.
like, "You do?" Because I knew her character was
She's a
shady. Like,
publicist right now, right?
yeah, she's a publicist and she's doing shady things. You have to watch the series, but Kim's character is a little bit shady, but I just didn't know she was a witch yet. So there was a
Right.
couple little Easter eggs that I got. Maybe other people who watched American Horror Story up to episode 5 have put that together. I don't know, but I definitely did not.
I know my mom is also a lover of the Kardashians and a lover of American Horror Story, and I do think that she knew that. She was, like,
Mhm.
excited to see him be a monster of some kind. I don't know if she knew it was a witch necessarily,
Well,
but
that's the thing. Like she's more shown as like some spider monster. So I was like, well, maybe
Oh, okay, I get it.
yeah.
So you didn't know what it was specifically.
Yeah, so they are at the American Horror Story set, and it was actually kind of cool to see how it was filmed. There are a lot of people in those spaces. I didn't realize exactly how many people and how confined sometimes the spaces are. Like she did this
Mhm.
little scene where she's walking in with this clothes rack, and she only like goes like yay far, and then they're like, okay, good.
You could tell that they were trying to also make it look more stressful probably than it really was, but I mean, Kim was stressed, she was freaking out. She was also in awe of, like, Emma Roberts and all, what
Hmm.
actors do in general. And talking about Kim, possibly burning out pretty soon, like, the review of the season talked a lot on her end about how she's been really busy this year. When she was in her confessional during the first day of filming when all that was going on, she was reminding me of the last time she had, like, a Kim Kardashian mental breakdown, which luckily isn't as bad as most celebrity breakdowns, but
Hmm.
remember that time she bought all those wigs?
And she was scaring
Remember
Mason.
Yeah, and remember the voice that she had? Kind of tired
Raspy.
and flat, but also some, like, fake effort to not sound flat. She's giving that right now.
She has 8 days back to back. She's like, "I didn't realize it was gonna be like this," and I'm surprised because been in the entertainment industry for a while. I'm surprised she's never really been friends with, like, an actor or anybody who could give her insight on that. I don't know, I just feel like
Mhm.
that's a little odd that she didn't know it was gonna be that intense. I mean, and it's American Horror Story of all
It's a
shows.
big show. It's like a huge popular show,
And
so
it's intense and it's scary stuff and it's probably physically demanding and also long hours. It seems like she's like half regretting it, but half just getting through it. She's just very tired. You can tell. They show all the scenes that she's in. And in fact, the main episode that they are focused on is actually episode 2 of the series. It says that every episode is done by a different director. I never actually realized that. That's really odd to me because how
Mhm.
do you keep that story?
It's
I don't
actually
know.
not uncommon with a lot of those popular shows, not every single episode, but a lot of times the directors will change hands or there'll be like a guest director often. Like, I know
Mhm.
Breaking Bad, for example, had a lot of different directors. It's really the writers who like carry the storyline and what's going on and the actors who portray the people, but I mean, if you think about it, the directors kind of can be interchangeable. They are just the one they're like the boss of the
Yeah.
day.
This boss though had those little like vests that
What was that? Like, what does it do? And what does it mean when she does it? And I would lose my if somebody wonked it at me as a actor. Like, I'm sorry, but I would turn my "Do you know who I am?" on, like, use your words. And
I
she
don't
didn't come across as rude, like, when she'd say "cut," she'd say "please," like, she did I just couldn't I wish someone would have explained to us what the purpose of that thing was because I my dog was responding to it.
I don't know if that's like common practice. Maybe someone can let us know, but I've
Yeah,
never
maybe
really seen that before. Don't know, but she had it in a full frontal vest. I don't
it
even know
was
what else
like
was in it.
looked like a hand warmer, and then also it was like,
I don't know if there
so
was like other things in there, but she definitely had like these
oh,
yellow
like a
springy
musical repertoire.
I love that word. That was great.
Directors are also musicians, we've learned today, or clowns, we haven't figured it out yet.
I don't know. It's American Horror Story, so it was just weird to see somebody going "Wrong, wrong," like every like 2 seconds during American Horror Story filming.
Moving to the Blink-182 tour with Kourtney and Chris, and Chris was, like, directing the tour bus driver because she thought that they were going to San Diego because that's where the show was, but they were staying in Del Mar, which is nearby. Chris was like, "Wait, where are we going? We're in Del Mar." And she, like, sits herself on the couch, and you can tell she's, like, processing, "We're staying in Del Mar." So they get to the house that they're staying in, and
Mhm.
Kourtney is, like, such a mini Chris. Like, she acts like she's so bothered by Chris's attempt to control everything in the world, but Kourtney is totally that, and she looks like her while she's doing it in her little sweatsuit and her short hair, like, you
Yeah.
are Chris. That is why you're so bothered by your mother because you are your mother.
She was walking around that whole house, like, trying to pick rooms, and she was,
Yeah.
like, having to dictate whose room was what. Right after that whole scene of Kourtney having to pick rooms and Chris having to wait for Kourtney to pick what room and stuff, Kourtney's like, "My mom is very controlling."
You both are very controlling. So then they all kind of like gather together after they figure out what room they're staying in. They said it took like 30-20 minutes or something to figure that out. It's only 4 bedrooms. Like, what do you mean?
Chloe sits Chris down and they're like, "Are you okay? Because you were calling your assistant back in Calabasas asking if you got off on the wrong exit. Like, what can he do for you?"
Well,
Like, "Did
yes,
he tell you to stop complaining?"
she's really struggling. Yeah, so then Kourtney
She went up to Chloe and she says, "You know True has eggs right now?" And Chloe gives her the craziest look, like and Courtney's like, "No, she has eggs and she had them when she was inside of you." And Chloe's like, trying to figure out where Courtney is going with this. And she had those eggs inside of you, who had those eggs inside of mom. And then, so mom's trauma and Nana's trauma and MJ's trauma. And Chloe's like, "I do not know what the hell she's talking about."
nobody wanted to talk about that. Kourtney's the only one who wanted to talk about trauma, therapy, children's eggs inside of their wombs from decades ago. Like, the way that that was all brought up, like, I'm sorry, Kourtney, I get where you're going, but I do not think, 1, that Chris is gonna ever go to therapy, and 2, that that is the way to discuss it with her at all. But it was so funny to see Kourtney try to push this idea of therapy, and Chris is like, all the while "Do you have a dimple in your chin?" You're poking her chin, and then they get right back on track, like, 2 minutes later. "Did you ever think about going to therapy?" And she's like, "Are your eyebrows different?" Different lengths. She made her
Chloe,
raise her eyebrows because
yeah,
they're the same when she raises them. I was
right.
dying.
And Chloe's in her confessional, like, bless Kourtney for trying to have this conversation, and then my mom's trying to get out of it. Like, she's
She's
just
not interested.
dying. Chris even opens up the fridge and is like, "Oh, they make wooden egg holders." And Chloe's just dying over this. She's like,
Especially, like, before you're gonna go to your first Blink-182 concert and you don't even know what the words are to any of the songs. You're gonna have a trauma therapy, like, consultation beforehand?
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Blink-182 concert.
What was hilarious too is at the end of this, Kourtney thinks that this resonated with Chris because Chris shared some kind of meme about there's always that one kid that wants to talk about generational trauma. And she's like, maybe it went through to her, huh? And
Honestly, Chris probably saw that and she was like, "Oh, this is what Courtney's talking about. I totally get it." Like, it's
Kourtney
just
would love to see this. I'm gonna send it to her.
her assistant probably sent her that. She's probably like, "Can you find me a picture about, like, generational trauma and older sisters and
She
just send
called
it to
Matthew.
Courtney?"
She called Matthew and put him on the job. Just like
Yeah,
when Chloe was complaining about not having her manager around, she decided to get a hologram machine and prank her. So
it was so
we're
good.
talking about Chris.
Get to the concert and we're kind of still more on this, like, Chris is not she's trying. She's not, like,
Mhm.
verbally or openly upset, but everyone's kind of acting like she's having a bad time. We finally see Travis because Travis wasn't at the house, and I guess he gets like a Dunkin' Donuts coffee or something before all of his shows. It's like part of his ritual. And
Mhm.
Chris is sitting on the couch. She's like, "Whose coffee?" And Courtney's like, "Oh, it's like Travis's ritual, whatever." It shows the coffee, and you can tell it's an iced coffee and it's starting to melt.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's been maybe 15 minutes away from being pretty icky, like, regardless
Mhm.
of how much you like coffee. So, as soon as Travis gets in the room, she's like, "Hi, how are you doing? Your coffee's right there, honey." Courtney's like in her confessional, she's like, "Yeah, so I just don't think my family's gonna change. I'm just gonna learn to let it go." It's like, come on, it's coffee, it's bedrooms. Like I understand it's stressful, but there could be worse things going on.
Yeah. Did you peep Chris's outfit too? Like she was full blown in her suit attire, but it was silky suit with the leather pants.
The
Like that was her
rockin' suit,
attempt.
yeah.
Yeah, it was her attempt of her Blink 182, but still business manager suit.
Then we pop back over to New York. Kim says that she has a 4 a.m. call time for her 3rd day of filming. Kim was just really
Mhm.
anxious still and had a lot of nervous energy going.
Right.
Then we get back to Kourtney, and they're all back at home, and Kourtney is in this, like, blue fluffy skirt outfit. I don't know if it was, like, photos for the holidays that she was
It was on
posting
her
or
Instagram, I know that, because I remember seeing that outfit on her Instagram, but I don't know if it was just that, but she just wore it for a picture because Chris couldn't stand to look at her.
like, "You got your kitty out," like, it's crazy.
And the people are taking pictures like, "You're fine," and Chris is like, "I'm at a lower angle than them."
So then finally Courtney gets on a robe and Chris can, like, breathe again. It's crazy because, like, all of her kids have been naked in front of her. I don't know why she's acting so horrified. So Courtney shows Chris, like, a scrapbook of her love with Travis, which was cute. I mean, it seems like she saved a lot of things from their
Mhm.
dates and times that they hung out and, like, pulled obviously some things just from memories, so and then she informs Chris that there is a gender reveal happening and that it's tomorrow and she's inviting everyone last minute, and it went from maybe we will cut a cake and learn the gender to Baby Barker world tour in the last 24 hours. I don't know why she's acting like she's shocked. I mean, maybe it's just the part of they didn't know when it was gonna
Mhm.
happen, but when we see the party, it's clearly a Kardashian party. I mean, there's favors, there's decorations, like, this is something that's been planned. They probably just didn't know what day it was gonna go on.
I mean, and even if it wasn't planned though, I could see them pulling that together in 24 hours. They pulled a wedding together in 7 days
That's
or
true.
like 9 days or something like that. Chris at first was like, "Oh, that's typical Kourtney to not invite me until the day before." But Kourtney says it's basically just because of Travis's tour schedule that he just has 24 hours off. I don't know why she didn't just say like he's got a day off, but I don't know.
Right.
She got 1 day off, and this is how they're going to do it. They're going to have this big baby Barker bash.
See a sliver of Chloe's happy ending, I guess, for the season. We started the season off with her visiting Good American, and everything was behind, everything was off schedule. It was a disaster, sort of mirroring her life. And now the Good American store is open, and it's cute. The scene itself was just kind of filler fluff, I guess, probably an advertisement more so for Good American in the store, but the store was cute. Chloe had a good time. Chris was actually there, so maybe that was also the reason they put that in the show to show that Chris was actually there. Then we go right to the Kravis Baby World Tour gender reveal of the decade.
And most people believed that the baby was going to be a girl, but at the gender reveal, we find out that the baby is a boy. Penelope mostly wanted it to be a girl because, quote, boys don't do nothing, and she's got a lot of them running around the house.
I mean, towards the end, everyone wanted a girl so bad, and they found out it was a boy, and they were all really happy and grateful because it's so cool that they're having a baby right now. But then there's like 2 or 3 people who are like, well, maybe we'll just make another baby. I think including Kourtney.
Yeah.
Well, damn. Like, I mean, make them, I guess, if you can, but sheesh. They end it with that. I'm so sad too. Like, I hate the end of these seasons. I don't know why. I really do love the Kardashians. I look forward to watching their episodes every week. I just want more. I want more Kardashians. We haven't talked about this. I don't even know if you and I have talked about this. I know in the first season I told a few people when I noticed it, but the cut scenes to me at the end of the Hulu Kardashians, there's a cut scene at the end of every single episode. They're hilarious. Chloe was like, the producers were like, so what's next for you after this season? And she was like, she's like, I don't know, maybe I'll make an OnlyFans for my feet, sand, different color nail polish, dirty it up a little bit.
The episode just leaves us on Kourtney's gender reveal, which at this point she has now had the baby, I believe. And it's funny because at the gender reveal, Travis does say the baby's alleged name, which is Rocky. He's like, yes, I get Rocky or whatever. So he had already planned a couple names, and Travis really loves his movies. So
Rocky 13 is apparently what it is.
Which his daughter's name is Alabama, and she is named after somebody from True Romance. So Travis loves to name his kids after his movies. So I like his flow of things.
She said she was leaving it up to him pretty much. So I mean, I would guess that's probably the name. Maybe not 13, but Rocky is in there somewhere.
Kourtney is very in love with Travis. She, I think, named all of her other kids. So, but we'll leave it on that happy note. It seems like everybody kind of just said their little piece at the end about their year. They just kind of went over how good their year was. It seemed like everybody said that they had a good year except for like Kendall and I don't know, Chloe's seeming to be positive about how her relationship with Trash Can is going.
She learned this year that nothing can break her spirit. So I was a little concerned for her spirit. I think both of us were, but if she says so, I'll take her word for it.
Although I do think that we are always just glossing over the elephant in the room when it comes to Trash Can, but we will leave it alone for now until the next time he gets brought up because I swear I can't just like let it go until he talks about it. It's so weird. Thank you, Chick Chatters, for joining us for the Kardashians. Yeah, sorry we got into this the last 2 episodes, but this is what we got for you.
It's been fun.
Yeah, we'll start off the next season strong.
Bye.
Bye.